Namaste everyone. The export value of the cut and polished diamonds by India was at 18.66 billion US dollars in 2020. India exports more than 75% of the world polished diamond, gems and jewelry, contributing to the current country's foreign exchange earnings. We are facing an unprecedented second COVID wave, which has been more damaging than the first one, with cases hitting new highs.
As per online statistics, India has nearly 4 lakh cases per day as on April 30th, 2021. With the ongoing crisis, the World Federation of Diamond Bourses, that is WFDB, has initiated Diamond Aid, which is a fundraiser to help India win the battle against COVID-19. This fundraiser is organized in coordination with the leadership of Bharat Diamond Bourse, popularly known as BDB, and will purchase essential medications and equipment that are desperately needed by the hospitals in Surat and Mumbai.
Hi everyone and welcome to the Diamond Aid fundraiser. My name is Prernaa Makhariaa. Let me begin by introducing to you our speakers for today. Our first speaker is Mr. Yoram Davash. He is the president of the World Federation of Diamond Bosses and chairman of the Israel Diamond Institute. First and foremost, he is a diamond manufacturer, trader, and founder of his company, Davash Diamonds. Hi, Yoram.
Hi, good morning, Prernaa.
Good morning.
Good to be with you.
Thank you. Our second speaker, Mr. Anoop Mehta, is the president of Bharat Diamond Bourse and active member of the executive committee of the WFDB. He is the chairman and managing director of Mohit Diamonds Private Limited, also known as Mohit Group. Namaste, Anoopji. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having us on the show.
Our third speaker, Mr. Rami Baron, has been in the diamond and jewelry industry for 3 generations. He is an executive member of the WFDB and founder of the Young Diamantaires. Hi, Rami. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Prernaa. It's my honor to be here today. Thank you.
And now myself, I'm Prernaa Makhariaa, India's first jewelry influencer, graduate from GIA and SNDT, with 18 years of experience in the gems and jewelry industry. So to begin the session, I would like to address this to Yoram, who is the president of WFDB. Yoram, tell me a little about how is the situation in Israel and how is the business currently over there right now?
Well, to be honest, the situation in Israel is back to normal. Life is totally normal as it's been before the corona. We have more than 75% of the population that got the vaccine. The restaurants are open, the theater, we can go to the beach, we can go to shows. Work is back to normal. And honest to tell you, sometimes I'm checking, is it real? It's finished? So yes, it's finished and we are very happy. Unfortunately, we see that in other countries there are big difficulties and we are very worrying. And we try to support with the campaign with our friend in India.
Thank you, Yoram. I mean, we can't wait to come back to a normal life. In January and until December, it did feel like that, but things just took off completely after February. So having said that, my next question is addressed to Anoop. Anoop, with India being affected with a severe second wave of COVID, how is the current situation here and how do you think is the business affected here?
So with the second wave, what we've seen is that different parts of the country are hit in to a different degree. As far as we are concerned, Bombay has been hit badly, but it's already started recovering. You can see from the numbers, they're dropping fast. But I don't think the government, the state of Maharashtra is taking any chances and has extended the lockdown till the 15th of May. With this, I can also put in that Surat was affected. The production is definitely down in the smalls by about 30 to 40%, and in the large sizes by about 20-25%. If this continues and it gets into a bigger shock, then production would go down tremendously, and that would then affect the whole chain of the diamond industry. Starting from the jewelry going all the way through. As far as we can see just now, in Surat, the infrastructure, unfortunately, is not as strong as it is in the major cities in Bombay. I mean, of India. So you take Bombay and all the other major towns, it's got very good uh, infrastructure, and they're able to ramp up much faster than in the smaller centers. Surat has done extremely well with all the demand chipping in. Uh, and as far as I know, when I speak to them, the problem is not of shortage of money. Problem is shortage of medicine. There's two medicines which are just not available anywhere in the world. So this is the request we've sent out to WFDB. If they can get their hands on some of that production and can contribute, then we are happy to receive it at our end. So it's
Yes.
all of a sudden, the second wave has hit in such a big way that the infrastructure is crumbling. We are lucky that India has lots of doctors, and it's thanks to them only that you have such a small death rate, because they've handled COVID over the last year, and they know exactly, even with less equipment and less medication, if you look at the death rate, it's not that high, and they've done a wonderful job.
I completely agree. The doctors and the healthcare workers have been totally at it without worrying about anything that happens to them. So we've spoken about Israel and India. Rami, tell me, how's the situation in Australia? How are things any different over there?
Look, I'm sure a number of your listeners would be aware we're in a bubble because geographically where we sit, this island down the bottom to the right, we've been very, very fortunate. Obviously, we had the COVID introduction here. It wasn't as severe as in other countries, and the Australian government is playing an incredible role in creating a huge restriction on incoming, and very strict quarantines. But what I'm particularly proud of is the Australian government and the Australian people are taking a massive interest in sending as much medical equipment, in particular oxygen machines, and the necessary medicines that they can to India. And I know they've done a special load to do so. We actually have a relatively small number of vaccines, but it's not as relevant because we are in a bubble right now. So everyone is okay for it to take its time, to come through. But we feel for the rest of the world. In particular, we feel for India. We have such strong connections, the diamond community in India and Australia. We want to do whatever we can. And that's why we're so supportive of this initiative.
Thank you so much, Rami. My next question goes to Yoram. Yoram, so, all the members here have been fairly involved with WFDB. Can you tell me a little about WFDB and what are the activities done by them?
Yes, before that, I would like to say that Monday morning, when I saw in the television the extremely difficulties that we have in India, immediately I called my colleague and my friend, our senior, Mr. Anoop Mehta, the president of BDB, and asked him to give me good advice. So he explained to me that India have a lot of money. Money is not the issue. The issue is the medical care, if we can support. And I thought, because WFDB cooperate 29 bourses, so we have the Chinese president, and we have in America, and we have in Australia, and we have in Belgium. So with all this connection, definitely we can work together and find a solution for medical care. And immediately in 2-3 days, we start with this campaign. And to be honest, the India community in our industry is the most important and the biggest in our industry. They are not only the big producer in Surat, they are today the leaders of the industry. And I felt that everybody in our industry that work with them and make business with them and know the way they're working have to support, and we have to join together. And from here, I'm asking and calling all the big producers, the manufacturer, the dealers, let's make nice and big donate to the WFDB, to this organization. And I'm sure that we can do great things together for the community in India.
Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. And I'm hoping all the bosses come together and help us with this situation right now. Anup, talking about the current situation, Surat and Mumbai are the biggest diamond centers in India. Can you throw some light on how COVID has affected the diamond supply chain?
So as far as what has happened is that the government of Maharashtra understands the importance of the Bharat Diamond Bourse. So it's a close-knit community, it's a gated community, and we also have customs within the complex. And the way we control it, we do not allow too many people to be around at any given time. We don't allow crowds to gather. So at present, we are operating on about 20-25% capacity, and everybody, each office has been told to be very, very strict. And we don't want anybody loitering in the ground. If he has finished his work, he should go straight home and not hang around and chit chat or have snacks down on the ground floor. We've controlled it very well. It's been, if you see the lockdown, it's been almost 2 weeks today, and it's given, we test people also. We've got a daily testing kits which are being tested, and we have less than 1% which test maybe positive, and then they have to go into a higher test, and we are very strict about it. As far as Surat is concerned, I told you factories are working. For this whole of last week, they had shut all offices. So all the trading activity had stopped. Factories were working at about 40-50% capacities and doing an extra shift wherever required to meet demand. America is very good, and so is the rest of the world. We've never seen the diamond industry having such a good demand. So because supplies are already there with us, we are trying to make sure that our clients are kept happy, but we are not taking risks.
I think those are great measures taken by BDB, and I think a lot of people wouldn't be aware that BDB has taken such precautionary measures for anyone to come into BDB. Rami, so tell me, you are the founder of Young Diamantaires. Can you tell me a little about the whole group? Actually, the audience, I myself am a part of Young Diamantaires, so I know how it works.
Sure. Look, the Young Diamantaires is an initiative of the WFDB. The WFDB recognized that it needed to initiate a conversation with the next generation. And so I was part of a discussion where I said, let's bring it out, but let's bring it broader than just the traditional diamantaire. So the executive committee was very, very liberal with me and gave me a lot of latitude to bring on young diamantaires in a conversation that we can understand what is it that they want. So we put a couple of criteria that they should be under 45 years old, and they need to be part of the diamond industry. Now, that doesn't mean that they have to strictly be a diamantaire. They can actually be involved in mining, they can be involved in laboratories, or they can be involved in retailing of diamond jewelry. Diamond, though, has to be their major source of income, their connection to it. And so we started this about 5 years ago. It has grown around the world. We have probably in excess of 500 members. Interesting enough, probably 75 to 80% of the members are members of the WFDB directly anyway, which is wonderful. But it was really about bringing forward another generation of leaders, in particular, the organizing committee, of course, Prernaa, you're one of them, to see how that we can, and I call it smash the glass ceiling for women, and show that the WFDB, which, from a statistical point of view, has something in the vicinity of 20,000 members, and 95% of all the polished diamonds in the world goes through the hands of one of its members. So our organization is making a transition to, as I said, smash the glass ceiling for women, that women can take major leadership roles, that we have to be gender neutral, and that we have to support other communities around the world who need our help, who are connected to our industry. So our first initiative was a school in South Africa, which, as you know, we're still working on it now, which was the fundraising for the Renaissance School in Limpopo. And this is the second one that I believe that in conjunction with the WFDB closely, we have to work so hard and contribute in any way we can. And that means, as Anoop said, if we can look to help to get the medicines or the oxygen machines or whatever they need, particularly the medicines, this is what we need to do. And I think that with everyone listening here, they have to appreciate that it is this sort of leadership by my colleagues, Yoram and Anoop, who have taken a fast, dramatic approach. And regardless of whatever they do in their own businesses, they made this a priority. And that's how strongly we feel about it. The world community, as Yoram said, the world community needs to appreciate that India is the most important player in the diamond industry in reality. And are critically important to us as our own families. And we will do what it takes, as Yoram expressed, to support and make sure that the World Federation of Diamond Bourses stands first and foremost in supporting this initiative.
I think, Rami, yes, I completely agree with what you've said. And it's a fantastic initiative Yoram and WFDB has taken. Speaking about this, so Yoram, WFDB, since we're talking about the fundraising initiative, can you tell us a little about the initiative taken and how can one contribute to it?
Well, we send a letter to 120 leaders of the industry and to the big companies. And of course, we work through, we have in our WFDB 20,000 members, and each one of them get a letter from the Federation with link that he can make the donation direct. We're working and we learn a lot from you through Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and everything. And we try to get to every diamantaire or jewelry people in the world. And I hope that everyone and each of them will open their heart and his pocket, of course, and will support this initiative. We have to be together. Together, we are much stronger. Thank you.
I truly appreciate that. Sorry, Rami, you were saying something.
Yoram, you know, as the president of WFDB, you have, if I can pose this question, you have so many initiatives that you need to deal with and you need to look at. And I think although you have touched on some of these things, and maybe in some respect, I'm asking you to repeat some of the things you might have said just earlier in your comments, but what is it about this initiative that has captured you so strongly, if I may ask?
Well, you know, both of us came from, both of us are Jewish, and many times in the history, we felt that we are alone and we have to fight for our nation. And when I saw that the Indian community, the big India, have suffered and they're in extremely difficult situation, I thought to myself, we have to do, and we can do, and we take all the community with us. And as I told Prernaa, I thought about this Monday morning, and after I called Anoop and got his point how to do that, in Thursday morning, we start the campaign. Everybody is working without salary, trying to push, trying to help. And I think this is a difficult moment, but from the other side, this can be a beautiful moment to support one each other.
Hear, hear.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
in continuation to Rami's question, Yoram, often people have a concern that, you know, when funds are collected, how are they dispersed to in an appropriate manner? Can you tell us a little about the tie-up with Bharat Diamond Bourse?
Yes, we'll have a team together from WFDB and from Bharat Diamond Bourse that will coordinate the money for buying medicine. As I said, Anoop explained to us very quick that India have a lot of money. Money is not the issue. The issue is the medical care. So we will have a small committee from WFDB and from Bharat Diamond Bourse. They join together and think how to arrange the medical care. I can tell you that we discussed already with the Chinese president, Mr. Ling Qiang, and they have a lot of equipment in China that he can make us the connection, and I assume we will buy there in China and ship it, send it by planes to India, and from there, Bharat Diamond Bourse will control it.
Truly appreciate that. So Anoop, once I am understanding, once these medicines come to India, how will BDB further aid these medicines or all the equipments that have come to whatever is collected?
First of all, let me thank you, Ram, to take this initiative and really coordinate things internationally for us, for the diamond community, and thank them. Basically, India is just in the center of from the mines to the markets, and we are doing our best to make sure that the chain doesn't break. And I mean, as far as the diamond supply is concerned, and we are able to continue the supply to meet the demand that's out there at present. We have tied up with, as you know, that the Indian Diamantaires do a lot of charity in India, in Bombay and in Surat. And there are 3 or 4 hospitals which the diamond community is connected to. There are 3 or 4, there are 3 in Surat and there are 2 of them in Bombay. And through these, we would prioritize it and distribute these medicines to them. There are also smaller clinics which are operating today and doing very good philanthropy work. And in our diamond community, we have a lot of members who give, instead of money, are giving their time to it. We have a fund which is known as the Gem and Jewelry National Relief Foundation, which was set up almost about 20 years ago when we had the huge earthquake in Gujarat. And that would be one of our prime places through whom we would be distributing the medicines. We have a huge jumbo COVID center which has been put up bang across the Bharat Diamond Bourse in Bombay, which is run by the Mumbai Municipal Corporation, which is used actually for vaccination, but also has ICU as well as COVID care centers. So we would tie up with them and see what their requirements would be, because that is the place where most of the diamond people come in touch with whenever there's an issue. So we would be working with those hospitals, those centers, and even some of the smaller centers set up by individual diamond merchants all over between Surat, Bombay, and Bhavnagar, and everywhere where diamond polishing is done in India.
Wow, that's a great initiative. And in fact, I'm told the vaccination, since it's soon going to start at BKC, I will also get my jab done over there at the VDB.
Yeah. So it is so convenient that we are tying up with a couple of private hospitals. We have, of course, the government center, which is just across the road. And a lot of our members have been able to walk across and get the jabs already. But as they open up for over 18, and the numbers are going to increase. So just to make it more convenient, we are trying to tie up with 2 or 3 hospitals, whereby their doctors would come 9 to 5 in the evening and sit in Bharat Diamond Bourse, where we've got a lot of space. We'll give them the space, put up the beds they require 10 minutes of resting time after you take the jabs. And so that people don't waste time in queuing up or traveling to different places. They'll get an SMS on their phone and they could just go down, have their jab and go back up to work.
Wow, that's going to be really convenient for us.
Yeah.
So
especially when we have, on a regular day, we have about 48,000 people coming in. And just now during COVID times, we still have about 13,000 people coming. So don't forget, 20-acre gated community with 2 million square feet. So even though the number of 12,000 may sound big, but compared to the ratio of the workspace that's available, it's not that much.
Absolutely. I agree. And I think that's a great way and a great thing that you all are doing of handling such a large number of people coming there. Continuing further a little about the marketing. So Rami, we are a part of the Young Diamantaires, which is also a part of WFDB. How we as YDs can spread awareness about this particular diamond aiding fund?
So I think that following this and even prior to this, with some of the smaller bourses, we've already been replicating to make them aware of this particular initiative. And whatever you've been doing in Instagram, the team been doing in Instagram from the Israeli bourse itself and Bharat Exchange, we are replicating it out. What I think is particularly interesting is that we're going to, because the YDs have such a broad influence, as I mentioned earlier when I was talking about not just in dealer, but then it goes into wholesaler and retail. So I think the interesting thing is going to be our ability to push down into the retail space and make them aware of this initiative. every diamond retailer knows that their stones come from India, and that 80 to 90% of all diamonds are polished in India. And it is their relationships with their Indian dealers that they can work with us to push the message through and make sure that everyone hears this story that we're telling. And there's nothing better, as we both know, than if each of us who has such a strong social media influence can push it downstream through our different channels, which is what we all intend to do.
Absolutely. I think that's a great initiative. And with our connections, the networking globally of Young Diamantaires, I think this is really going to help spread the message in a great way. So my last question is for Yoram. Yoram, tell us how one can contribute to it apart from the link that we have shared. Is there a minimum amount that somebody can contribute, or is there a timeline until when they can contribute?
Well, there is no minimum that we put. Everybody can put whatever he feel and he can. And even a small amount, we will be more than happy. And about the time, we talk about 2 weeks, and let's see how it's working, how it's growing, and we make the decision. Until now, it's 2 weeks. I think it's the right time. And let's hope that people will contribute and make nice donation. And thank you for everything, for your support, for your work. It's amazing what you're doing for us in Instagram. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yoram. Anoop and Rami, would you like to add something? I would like to begin with Anoop.
No, it's a great initiative, and I'm sure diamantaires all over the world do a lot of philanthropy and are always standing there to help each other out during these tough times. And thank you for organizing everything.
Thank you. Rami? You need to unmute yourself.
Thank you. Sorry. There's two things I'd like to say. The first one is that I look forward that hopefully in 12 months from today, we can look back at this period as a challenging moment, and hopefully those who are listening and even those who are connected have not lost too many members of their families or friends, but that we reflect on how the world came together in trying moments. And this is really what this COVID has shown us, that we can come together in trying moments. And the second thing I'd like to say is I'd like to personally thank the Young Diamantaires who have helped so diligently in this particular initiative to support the WFDB. I'm proud of you all. In particular, I'd like to send a special thank you to Harsh Shah, who's helped us so much in the back end, and yourself, Prernaa, for taking the initiative and creating these interviews and the Zoom meeting and the Instagram lives, because you did so on your own initiative to jump on board. You galvanized everyone together. And I think I will say this to Yoram and Anoop, I think you can feel confident that the next generation of leaders is right here and they're stepping up even before being asked. So thank you again.
Thank you, Rami, for your kind words. Yes, sorry.
If we are in a point of thanks, and it's very nice of Rami, I would like to say thanks to Sharon Geffen, that she is the PR of the WFDB, of supporting. I would like to thank the team of Lucy that help us with all the technical payment and everything. And thank you all. Thank you all.
So thank you everyone for joining us today. A special thanks from me to Sharon Geffen from WFDB, Harsha and Jay Pare, who are also YD members and have been instrumental in putting this together. Yes. Please note that you can contribute on www.campaign.wfdb.com. I will also put the link in the chat box on the Zoom session. You can also check the link on our Instagram bios. It is mentioned over there. It does not matter how much you contribute because every little penny counts. Thank you everyone for joining us once again. Signing out for now. Stay safe, stay home.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.